Chapter 52. It was the afternoon of the following day. Matthias marched into the farmyard of the head of the guerrilla union of shrews and mossflower. He halted the entire regiment outside of the barn and turned to Log-Log. "Wait here, my friend. There is someone I have to see." The young mouse stood in the gloom of the barn, knowing he was being watched. Without turning or looking, he addressed the cat. "Julian, it is Martin. I have returned." The marmalade cat loomed out of the half-light. So I see. Welcome, little friend. Is that the sword you told me of?" Matthias proffered the blade for inspection. "It is indeed. Asmodeus is the snake lies dead. I slew him with this very weapon. It is the great sword of Martin the warrior." Squire Julian Gingerbeer handled the sword with care. He laid it on a hay bale. Sitting next to it, he folded his paws under him, half shut his eyes. "Matthias, let me give you some good advice. I am much older than you and have seen much more in life. There are not many illusions left to me, and I do not want to shatter your dreams or blight your ambitions, my friend, but I must say what I have to. We squires of Gingerbeer are an ancient line. In the past I have seen such tokens of this weapon. My grandsires owned a vast armory full of magnificent and valued battle equipment. No doubt your sword is indeed a beautiful thing. It is a tribute for whoever forged it in bygone ages. There are very few such swords as this one left in the world. But remember, it is only a sword, Matthias. It contains no secret spell, nor within its blade any magical power. This sword is made for only one purpose, to kill. It will only be used as good or evil, as the one who wields it. I know that you intend to use it only for good of your abbey, Matthias. Do so, but never allow yourself to be tempted into using it as a careless or idle ways. It would inevitably cost your life, or that of your dear ones. Martin the warrior, use your sword only for right and good. This is why it has become a symbol of power to Redwall. Knowledge is gained through wisdom, my friend. Use the sword wisely." Matthias picked up his weapon. He was surprised at Julian's words. They were an echo of something his old companion Methuselah had once told him. "Thank you, Julian. I will remember your lesson well. Now I must ask a favor of you. Would you come with me? I want you to be present when I speak to Captain Snow." The cat sniffed disdainfully. You ask quite a lot. I wouldn't do that for anyone else, you know." Reluctantly, Julian stalked out into the sunlight with Matthias. There was an immediate spate of loud, frightened chatter from the regiment of guerrilla shrews. Squire Julian Gingerbeer merely nodded and addressed them in a regal but distant manner. "Good afternoon. Very clement weather for this time of year, don't you think?" For the first time since the foundation of their union, the shrews stood in slack-jawed silence, completely lost for an answer. As they strode along, Julian protested to his companion. "Really, Matthias, I think you are asking a bit much of one. Does one have to stand around and listen to the befeathered regimental bore giving air to his hidebound militaristic views? Oh, it's too much." Matthias stroked the silky cat's forepaw. "Come on, Julian. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised." The marmalade cat stifled a yawn. "You don't say. Has another tree fallen upon the pompous old fool?" Captain Snow paced around the base of his nest tree. He glared at the cat, then at the mouse holding the sword. He snorted, hunching his back feathers, his neck into ruffles, and folding his wings behind him. "Listen, mouse. I don't want to hear how you did it. Probably wouldn't believe you anyhow. But here you are, and I suppose that's that." Matthias hid a smile. He trapped his foot in mock impatience. "I'm waiting, Captain Snow, sir. Remember your promises on the oath?" The owl's eyes bulged with ill temper. He flung Basil's medal at the young mouse's feet. "There, take your medal back, you insolent little pup. I'm not saying another word while that salad-eating cat is within hearing range." Matthias traced patterns in the dust with his sword point and spoke civilly to the owl. "Well, Captain Snow, sir, I've never took you for a bad sport. Besides, I got an entire regiment of shrews hidden all about. They're waiting to hear you honor your wager." The owl spread his wide snowy wings and flapped upwards to perch on the edge of his den. Folding his wings and shutting his eyes tightly, he shouted in bad grace, "I promise never to kill or eat another mouse or shrew of any type as long as I live, so there." He hooted and vanished within his den. Instantly the strays broke cover, dancing and whooping with delight. Captain Snow popped his head out of the nest. Go away, be gone, I can't stand it. All those little dinners dancing about. It's too much, I tell you. Excuse my mentioning it, sir, Matthias shouted over the hubbub. What did you promise regarding our friend the squire? The owl emerged grumpily and ruffled. Thoroughly humiliated, he called out to his former friend the cat. It was all my fault. I apologize to you, Squire Julian. He was completely taken aback by the cat's reply. Not at all, my dear friend. It is I that must apologize to you. That whole incident was entirely due to my priggishness and lack of manners. Captain Snow swooped down and perched near the cat. Do you really think so? Oh, come on, Julian, old chap. I must share the blame. It was my barrack room feeding habits that started the whole thing. You mustn't blame yourself, old friend. A rare smile covered the features of the normally laconic Julian. He purred comfortably. No, I insist that we share the blame 50-50. Besides, the question wouldn't arise now that you've sworn off shrews and lice. I say, have you ever tried a fresh trout salad with mustard and cress? Why don't you come over to the barn? I'm sure there'll be enough for two. I mean, trout not exactly a vegetable, is it? Wing and Paul, the reunited comrades, strolled off into the barn, chatting admirably as if there had never been a cross world between them. Julian was the last to enter the barn. He gave Matthias a broad wink. Who knows, my friend? Maybe the sword does possess some magic. Personally, I think it's the warrior who wields it. For the first time in many days, Matthias laughed heartily. He felt so good within himself. After all the action and mental strain, travel and grief, he felt suddenly reborn, larger in life and brimming with newfound self-confidence. Certainly there was great difficulties and hard tasks ahead of him. When the time came, he could handle them. For the present, he would satisfy with feelings of immense happiness. Holding the sword lightly, he balanced it upon its point against the earth and laughed freely. It was infectious. Log joined in. Then one girl shrew, then another, and still yet more, until the whole regiment of their warrior mouse friend saw the countryside ringing from river to woods, to farm to field, with happy sounds of their honest joy.